Hey y'all, it's RealR, and welcome back to the Super Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe box office records. And we have entered Season 3, guys, where the Super Mario Galaxy movie is our first focus for the year. But first, I'd like to introduce a brand new segment called Super Smash Bros. Anniversary Watch, where we check if Smash Bros. Franchises are given their dues for the year, starting with Donkey Kong. You know, for a game that came out in July of 1981, there's quite a few interesting things that came out this year. First of all, we started with a January 2026 update to Donkey Kong Country Returns that shocked everyone, adding Dixie Kong of all Kongs. I love her. Not to mention, they continued the Emerald Rush DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Awesome game, by the way. So since July is still on its way, I'll give Nintendo a green plus. Next, there's Zelda. And already, we have hit a snag. You see this date? Yeah, that was over a month ago. They did have the post on Nintendo Today on the day, but that was it. Take a wild guess what debuted on that day instead. Go on, humor me. The release date for the re-release of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. You see, over here it released on the 20th. What if you factor time zones? And if it released at 8 a.m., it would have been on the 21st. I heard there was a vinyl collection. That was announced March 13th. It is official, but it won't be released until December. I mean, there was that Lego Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time set that they announced back in January. That does count, but it's a toy. What about the games? Well, let's recap. Back in April of last year, they announced they were going to release a Switch 2 edition of both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, adding a GPS system to the ruins of Hyrule. It's a GPS! So Nintendo really thought that their customers would be okay with repackaged games that were only slightly better. And of course, we had the teaser trailer for the Zelda movie. We really should get more news on that film this year. So, what exactly is going on here? What we're dealing with is Nintendo's fiscal year. They don't exactly go by calendars. They go by specific periods that fit overall quarter. Not to mention, the 40th anniversary of Mario was still going on because of Super Mario Galaxy movie. Super Mario Galaxy! Zelda news has been pushed to June. And Super Mario Bros. Dropped on September 13th, 1985. That means they've been stretching this birthday for 7 months. That's right. They've been stretching this centerpiece for the 40th anniversary for half a year. They could have opened the movie in November, but apparently they keep on using April as their opening month. And we don't even have an official anniversary logo yet. Now, would you like to know what happened with the 30th anniversary? It didn't happen until September. That's right, this has become the current norm for anniversaries divisible by 10. And yet Mario had his early. Technically Bowser and Peach, but who's counting? The 35th was also early. Now remember I said divisible by 10. That's right. They actually managed 1 year to give Legend of Zelda their actual due. That was for the 35th. Starting with the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity expansion pass, followed by the unfortunate news about Breath of the Wild sequel, aka Tears of the Kingdom, remedied by the announcement of Skyward Sword HD complete with its own Joy-Cons. There was one caveat to this, however. The campaign for the 35th anniversary never officially materialized. Not even a freaking logo. So since Nintendo likes to highlight Zelda when it's most convenient, I give them a late. Compare that to Square Enix and Dragon Quest, who debuted their freaking logo at the beginning of the dang year! Oh, and the anniversary date is easy to remember. Literally 3 days before my first birthday. And the Dragon Quest games that they have available this year are pretty stacked. Starting with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, followed by Dragon Quest Smash Grow, as well as Dragon Quest XII, The Flames of Fate, that may or may not get outside of development hell. You might get more information about other Dragon Quest projects throughout the year. So since we have at least a month to go, I give Square Enix and Dragon Quest a green plus. From Square Enix back to Nintendo with our good gal, Samus Aran in Metroid, debuting back in August of 1986. And of course, we had, in December, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, to mixed reviews. Also, this is post-Super Mario Galaxy movie. I can and cannot deny the presence of Samus in some capacity in the movie. Go see it. Also, there's a rumor going around that certain games from this franchise are going to get follow-ups or recreations. Just saying. Hateful Birdie told us that she's gonna be doing well this year. I wouldn't worry. I'll give Metroid and Nintendo a green plus. About a month later, from Konami, we have Castlevania with its own logo, having about 5 months until its own anniversary. And it already had its own new game, Castlevania Belmont's Curse. And they said this is only the first new game for the Belmont family. So I'll give Konami and Castlevania a green plus. And back to Nintendo we go for Kid Icarus and Pit in December of 1986. I hate to break it to you, but Kid Icarus is not exactly going to get something new this year. It has 3 games to its name. Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters, and Kid Icarus Uprising. Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in Pit getting a new adventure anytime soon. So I'll give Nintendo a minus. Luckily, what we have next is Sega and Sonic, debuting in June of 1991 in Europe. Though when it comes to Sonic, he has the knack of being aptly active. You want updates? I'll give you updates. We can start with Sonic Rumble. Sonic Rumble is a battle royale Fall Guys-like made in November of 2025, co-made by Sega and Robio. Oh, that's right! Sega bought Angry Birds. That means when the Angry Birds Movie 3 comes out in December, it'll be under the Sega banner. Sonic Rumble, after being announced back in May of 2024, had a pre-launch in October. Then fast forward to November 17th, 2025, where my girlfriend discovered the game. Then I joined an episode later, and everything is history. Sega brought in some classic characters like Ai from Super Monkey Ball, the Bonanza Brothers, Tengo, Altered Beast, and then brought in some curveballs like Godzilla. And then along came March of this year, where they rebranded into Sonic Rumble Party adding Smurfs, and then finally the Care Bears. The full playlist will be in the description. Now, there was one game we wanted to play, but the computer wouldn't support it, and that was Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Now, we had this game on the show before. It came out September 25th of 2025, but that was for other platforms. It didn't reach the Switch 2 until December of 2025. Now, when it comes to crossovers, this one has them in spades. This is the definition of Super Smash Bros. Kart. Now, aside from the Sonic characters, we have Hatsune Miku, a Sega property for maximum interest, our Joker from Persona 5, Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon, Knights from Nights into Dreams, then Ai from Super Monkey Ball, Red from Angry Birds, Captain Majima from Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and last we have Arl Naja from both Puyo Puyo and Mado Monogatari. And that was just the free DLC. Now here's the paid DLC. First there's Minecraft Steve, then there's Minecraft Alex, followed by a Creeper, then SpongeBob SquarePants, Patrick Star, Pac-Man, then the Ghosts, then my man Mega Man, and Proto Man. More to come. And finally, we have Sonic 4. Yeah, that's right, they didn't change the name. It is officially Sonic the Hedgehog 4. They didn't change the release date either. It is still March 19th, 2027, despite earlier news. They also added Kristen Bell as Amy Rose. They added Ben Kingsley, as well as Richard Ayoade.
What?
And Matt Berry.
Damn good, bloody good, damn good job.
As well as Nick Offerman to the cast. We will get more information on more movies and projects next week at CinemaCon. And the CinemaCon schedule has been revealed. April 13th is Sony, April 15th is Universal, and April 16th is Paramount. So, what's the problem? We have a calendar, we have concerts, and we have a podcast. The issue is, they have yet to release information on a new game that connects to the anniversary. So, I give Sonic and Sega a plus and a minus. Next is Fatal Fury by SNK, and it came out November of 1991. And I think it's going to be okay, considering it had its own game, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, last year, 2025, and it's going to have DLC for the rest of the year. So I give Fatal Fury and SNK a green plus. Now we have Pokemon. Oh boy, have I got things to tell you. So, Pokemon came out February 27th, 1996. I know that by freaking heart. And it had a doozy of an anniversary. Let's go through it, shall we? So, we have all the Pokemon as anniversary logos. We have the aforementioned re-release of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. And we have Pokopia that came out in March, which is honestly the biggest love letter to every generation ever. And is also a new genre for the series that's akin to Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, and Minecraft. We can't forget Pokemon Champions, which comes out this month. In fact, it's out now as of recording. Literally the only thing that they didn't announce was a game that would come out this year after Champions. We have Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves, which is coming out next year. So, we have, for Pokemon and Nintendo / the Pokemon Company, creatures, all those sticking companies, 3 green checks and a minus for not having a dang movie. So, Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing debuted on Nintendo 64 as Dobutsu no Mori on April 14th, 2001. And so far, it will have its anniversary in just 4 days. Yeah, not technically late yet, but it will be in a few days. To be fair, Animal Crossing did have a free update for New Horizons back in January, and they also announced a Switch 2 edition, but they haven't announced anything else yet. I'm also suspecting that a ditto-shaped shadow will be hovering over it. So for now, I will give it a plus, but I would give it a late next week. What we have next is Luigi's Mansion that debuted on the release date of the GameCube itself, September 14th, 2001. And yeah, it's doing pretty handsomely this year, because there are rumors of a Luigi's Mansion movie being pushed. Also, Luigi's Mansion 4 is also rumored. Since Nintendo did buy Next Level Games, anything is possible. So I'll give Luigi's Mansion a green plus. How fitting. Pikmin came a month later in October for the GameCube. And yeah, it's got plenty of stuff. We got an update for Pikmin 4. We have the Pikmin debuting on the big screen on Super Mario Galaxy movie. And there's also the continued updates for Pikmin Bloom. So yeah, Pikmin gets a green plus. Last but not least, we have Persona 5 that debuted on the PlayStation 3 and 4 on September 15th of 2016. Now this is an interesting case because it doesn't fit in this picture, but it will next time. For now, I will say that Persona is having an interesting anniversary this year, celebrating every game, not just Persona 5. So we don't know if there's any more content for 5 this year, but there is for all of Persona. I will give Persona 5 an Atlas/Sega a question mark. Well, that was a lot of fun. Now we shall get back to domestic for the first of the year. And Super Mario Galaxy movie has KO'd the original Sonic the Hedgehog out of the ranking, now having 231,181,265, with Sonic the Hedgehog 3 ending with 236,115,110. Not to mention, a Minecraft movie ended with $424,087,780. Now let's take a look at international, and so far, there is no changes to the overall ranking. However, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 ended with 256,046,504. In a Minecraft movie, $537,100,000. Now we shall take a look at worldwide. And the Super Mario Galaxy movie debuts at $437,751,829, with Sonic 3 finishing up with $492,162,604, and a Minecraft movie ending with $961,187,780. Now we shall get back to Secret Level, Episode 15, where we enter everything that led to Apple Galaxian, Part 1. And I will see you afterwards for what's coming up next. The next to be copyrighted for the Broderbund catalog was Apple Galaxian, when the real estate of American arcades was being filled to the brim with Galaxian cabinets, as it became a huge hit, but it had to go overseas first. Though in order to do that, Namco had to go to Midway Manufacturing because the license with Taito ran out. Luckily, Midway was interested, so they made a deal, and Galaxian was able to be released in North America. Though we had to go back to Japan, where a 21-year-old college student and aspiring programmer named Tony Suzuki was in the process of writing a clone of this now popular game for the Apple II computer. You can probably guess by now that this young man was one of the talents working for Minoru Nakazawa at StarCraft Inc., a company that was apparently founded in 1979. This particular year was when the Japanese personal computer revolution was beginning to take off. However, after crossing back over the Pacific, you'd see that things were a bit different, as back in Japan, the market for the Apple II was just in its infancy. But on the flip side, the States were not exactly selling Japan's computers either. Whereas America's Apple II market was rapidly maturing and gaining recognition as a considerable industry, thanks to being priced within the reach of many middle-class families. It could also be the fact that Apple created a partnership with the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium, or the MECC. Remember, the guys who brought us the Oregon Trail, which helped make the computer popular in schools. Because of this partnership, by the close of 1980, over 100,000 Apple II computers had been sold. After that success, Apple could expand its market to include Europe, Australia, and the Far East, which included Japan in 1979 to 1980, where they introduced a special version of the Apple II called the J+, of which a few thousand were sold. Then fast forward after the West Coast Computer Fair, and by early winter 1980, Broderbund got their hands on Tony Suzuki's version of Galaxian, boasting impressive, vibrant graphics and sound, and most importantly, it perfectly replicated the fast-paced gameplay previously exclusive to the experience tailor-made for their hardware and arcade machines. This is when Doug decided to send this version of Galaxian to Robert Bleth, who had just started a software distribution business called Robwin Computing. Man, it feels crazy to be back here again. So for upcoming films, we have Street Fighter coming out October 16th of 2026 this year by Paramount and Legendary. After that, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 4 coming out March 19th of 2027 by Paramount and Sega. After that, we have Legend of Zelda coming out May 7th of 2027 by Sony and Nintendo. After that, begrudgingly, we have a Minecraft movie sequel coming out July 23rd, 2027 by Paramount and Warner Brothers. That's right, Paramount bought Warner Brothers. So, 3 franchises are with Paramount now. After that, we have the untitled Sonic movie coming out December 22nd of 2028 by Paramount and Sega. Next, we have films with no release date. And we have new information on the Metal Gear Solid movie coming out by the directors of Final Destination Bloodlines. Adam B. Stein and Zach Lipovsky have taken the reins of the Metal Gear Solid movie. Pretty dang crazy if you ask me. So next we have Detective Pikachu 2, which is still by Legendary, but we don't know which studio would be making it, since Warner Brothers is now with Paramount, and they might have switched to Universal. Next, we have Mega Man by Netflix, and we don't know if it's still even in production. Also, it looks like to me that the Pac-Man movie is back on, because Justin Baldoni is now free from allegations. Let's see what happens in the coming months. And then we have the shows with no release date, starting with Secret Level by Amazon Prime. Hopefully we get information next week. Followed by the Pokemon live-action series featuring Red by Netflix, still no release date. And the Minecraft animated series by Netflix with no release date. I can't believe how much we have not updated since last time. It's insane. And we are done. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe, and smash that bell. Get notifications on the channel where everything grows on you.